What is the base of our understanding of the structure of the atom? At the center, there is a nucleus, and around that, there is a cloud of electrons. Electron means I'm not saying it is a particular position of one, but it is a cloud point of view. Cloud means just orbit I have to show, no? Therefore, only I am what the showing different one. And orbitals, whichever are there, those are s orbital, p orbital, d orbital, different are there. It is just for understanding. Don't misunderstand whichever the red dots are there. Red dots means number of electrons. It is not a number. It is just the position. It's a cloud. Nebula is there, but I'm showing the different levels are there. Means it's like a classroom you can consider, or it's like a stadium, say the large cricket stadium or football stadium or badminton court you can consider. So there if you see the levels do remain, badminton court or even the stadium, no? If you visit any international or the national cricket stadium, then also levels do remain. But here such benches are not there. As like in classroom, generally what happens, a classroom complete one floor remains. And in that floor, different rows, the number of rows may be 25, sometimes 30, 40 also. So student who sits on the front bench and student who sits on the last bench, in between that, means student who is there last bench, in between many students are there. So if anybody, that last bencher has to observe, and if stage is not there, I hope you are understanding. Am I clear in instruction?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. If the stage is not there, then last bencher will find, okay, something problem. He may have to stand or you have to adjust. Then only can penetrate and could able to see the nucleus, means teaching of the teacher or demonstration by the teacher or something. If teacher is showing on the one desk, suppose one experiment is there, example, demo experiment is there, and the students are there in the complete classroom. Large number of rows of the students are there. Then whoever are on the front bench, first bench you can say, for them there is no problem. Easily they could see that experiment or demonstration. So that is our first shell. So those electrons can easily or readily see, this is the first cell if you consider, no, they can easily pay the attention. Then whoever electrons are there, suppose here one electron is there, here one electron is there, example, then for them to pay the attention to the nucleus, to pay the attention to teaching of the teacher, there's no problem. But one student can disturb other student. Means on front bench they are there, one student sitting will disturb the other student. Disturb means will pass one cheat, or will write something on the paper and keep there, or will talk, will ask a question to the student. So disturbances will be there. So student could able to see clearly instructions by the teacher or demonstration shown by the teacher, but because of neighbor, because of nearby student, disturbance may possible. Likewise, this electron can pay the attention towards nucleus. There is no problem. But problem may be this electron. This electron will repel this electron. Disturbance will be there. It is a one kind of disturbance. What kind of disturbance it is? Disturbance due to neighbor. Yes, are you understanding?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Other kind of disturbance is to last bencher. Means if electron is here in the second shell, means second level, second row of the benches you can consider. When this electron has to pay the attention to the nucleus, at that time in between this cloud is there. Cloud, some kind of disturbance is there. Screen is there. Screen. Likewise, here on second shell electrons are there. There is the cloud. If electron is there in the third shell, third level, then this third level will experience screening or obstacle due to this level plus this level. So this electron has to penetrate, has to pass, has to pay the attention through this screen and this screen. Double screens are there. Means without any obstacle, you could see one thing. Clarity is there. But now suppose one transparent screen came, but semi-transparent you can consider. Not perfectly transparent, semi-transparent. Then your vision becomes blur, or clarity in that vision will not be there. Clarity in the observation will not be there. That unclarity is experienced by these backbenchers. So this electron, now see further backbencher, further backbencher. So this backbencher electron, if you consider this one, has solid problem. Has to pay attention. Means from here it has to see this screen will be problem. This screen will be the problem. This screen will be the problem. This screen will be the problem. Through all this problem, that electron has to pay the attention. Between many screens are there. Means example I had given backbencher. It is the backbencher now. This backbencher can't pay the attention to the nucleus perfectly or clearly. So that backbencher, what will do? If you see, well, then backbencher may stand or will see here and there. It means backbencher is the problem of middle students, middle electrons. So what middle electrons are doing? They are screening, they are obstacle to pay the attention towards nucleus. This screening is otherly termed as shielding. Shielding means protection. Means other way what happens, these inner electrons are there, these inner electrons protect outer electron. They say that outer electron, you freely behave because nucleus can't pay the attention. Many times what happens at backbench, front bench students, what teacher can pay the attention very clearly. So those front bench students can't move here and there, even they can't whisper, they can't talk, they can't gossip. But what about backbenchers? Backbencher will say in between they will take a support of the one student and they'll keep the obstacle here and they will talk. So teacher may come across somebody is talking, but who is talking? Teacher could not able to understand. Why for? Because in between many are there, so the shielding that last or the last bencher, backbencher. So because of that backbencher, what happens? In backbench, there may be the movements or there may be disturbances. In front bench, is if one student has to transfer anything also, then teacher will come to know. But backbench, it is not easy for teacher to pay the attention. Even one can start the mobile or can send the message. Miss will keep the mobile down and will send the message. Front bencher can't do. Means front bencher are more controlled by the nucleus and backbencher are less controlled by the nucleus. It is a reality in electron also. Students could able to understand what I'm saying.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
This reality is explained in chemical language by other terms. What are they saying? Backbencher electrons are there, last bencher electrons are there, such electrons are there. Those are protected or shielded by whom? Inner electrons. This phenomenon of screening, protecting, shielding last electrons by first electrons or inner electron is called as screening effect or shielding effect. It is a general concept of screening or shielding. Sanika, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, good. Now let us go to particular. Generally, we are saying backbencher can freely move here and there, or miss freely they can what gossip, they can talk, they can get disturbed because teacher has no more attention there or less attention. That's the advantage they can take. They are somewhat more free compared to the first benchers. But by the way, there remains few student, brilliant student, curious student, sincere student like you that let any obstacle be, they have tendency, means tendency of student I'm talking about, they have the tendency to pay the attention what teacher is talking, what teacher is saying. So they will keep their ears and mind open. Mind means of course the brain to instructions for learning relatively more compared to the others. Means at backbench, suppose three friends are there. One is S orbital, other is P orbital or P sublevel, and third one is D, SPD. These are the three friends. Out of those three friends, it is found that one student has its own nature, natural tendency to grasp the things properly, despite of the problems, despite of the backbench, despite of the possibilities of destruction. But tendency of that S student is can focus towards the instruction. Problems are there. Backbenching situation is there. But even though tendency sharp and that tendency to pay the attention despite of destruction is called as ability of penetration. Now what is happening? See, you are attending lecture, mobile is on, you are listening, your attention is there. By the way, nearby disturbances may be there in your house, but you have penetrated all those disturbances and you're focusing on these instructions or the lecture. What is that tendency? Penetration tendency. But every student doesn't remain the same penetration tendency. Three students, for example, I consider one is S, other is P, and other is D. Out of those three, S has more penetration tendency than P, which has more penetration tendency than D. It is observation. S orbital. If any electron is in S orbital, it has its own tendency because it is his nature, its nature, electron's nature to pay the attention towards nucleus relatively more than P, which is relatively more can pay the attention than D. So we say S orbital is more penetrating than P, which is more penetrating than D, and therefore they are what the paying attention. To make this concept clear, one example I give it to you. Now you are studying in the SRM college, Kudar. I am your teacher. I am teaching for last 22 years. So maybe your elder brother or sister or any relative or friend nearby was already my student. So from that student, means from elder, maybe brother, sister, or relative or friend, you got some information about the teacher, about me. And considering that, considering its importance, your attention changes, your inclination towards study changes, your inclination towards approach of learning changes because your relative or friend has informed you that teacher is likewise and you have to pay the attention in this way so that your attention grows or your attention remains more. Because from seeing point of view, you are the first. But from reality point of view, you are not the first. You got the information or instruction from some other body. Yes, students, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes. So because of that, your attention remains what? The different one. For few, many such elders will be there. They are already my student and now you are my student. So you are my student, not a direct student. Your studentship is through the genesis of all, through the cycle of all, through filters of all. Then you are my student. Many experienced teacher remains. Then first we heard about those teachers. First, we come across the teachers. Accordingly, we prepare our mind setup, and then that helps us or may not help for what the preparation for the learning. But if anybody is there who has not taken any kind of information or not received any kind of information, first time if he's coming, then attention remains different one. So if you see these orbitals sequence, first orbital, our first orbital is one S orbital. Beginning is through S. So any other time, suppose S orbital comes, maybe second shell, maybe third shell, maybe fourth shell, or consider fifth shell, sixth shell, seventh shell. If I talk about the electron in the 4s, then 4s will say, already my elder 3s has studied, already my elder 2s has studied, already my elder 1s has studied. So that 4s can pay the attention via through 1s, 2s, 3s, or genesis of that 4s is in 1s, is in 2s, is in 3s. So 4s is not the new student. But if I talk about the 1p, 2p, 3p, 4p, 5p, are you following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Here one mistake. Here one mistake is there. Bring it to my notice.
1P is not there.
Right. 1p never exists. 1p doesn't exist. Doesn't remain. So p starts from second. So if from the same batch, fourth batch, if I consider say 4p orbital, then 4p orbital say, I am also experienced. I also got the information about the teachings of the teacher. First through the 3p, then to the 2p. But out of those, which those 4p and 4s, who is more experienced?
4S.
Right, 4s is more experienced because 1s is additional. If I continue my this story for the d orbital, say that d orbital is 1d orbital, 2d orbital, 3d orbital, 4d orbital, 5d orbital. Now will you help me as you helped me before? Which d orbital will not be there?
1D and 2D.
1D and 2D.
Right, 1D will not be there, 2D will not be there. D starts from 3D. But if I consider the same batch, that's a fourth batch, it is what the 4D. Then if this 4D has to talk, then 4D also will say, I am also experienced because I also got the information from the elder. Who is that? 3D. How many are there? Only one. So out of those three, who is the least experienced?
4D.
4D. D is a least experienced than P, than S. So S is a more experienced. And because of that more and more, when many person says, okay, the field is likewise, person is likewise, or in that way, subject is likewise, then accordingly, your attention also develops or not develops. All factors do what the affect there. So affect is there. Here our attention is towards the concentration or attraction towards the nucleus. So let you consider any s orbital of the same level, p orbital and d orbital of the same level. Always the s orbitals will be more experienced than P, than D. Therefore, this logic is there. S is more penetrating than P, which is more penetrating than D. S is more attentive than P, which is more attentive than D. So this tendency of attentiveness, despite of the various problems, maybe because of shielding tendency I'm saying, is called as penetration. So penetration abilities or penetration tendencies are different, and that affects the energy sequence for few elements. Generally, what we consider first shell, then second shell, then third shell. So first shell means what? 1s, right? Second shell means 2s and 2p. Absolutely right. Sequence also is accordingly. Third shell means 3s, 3p and 3d. It should be likewise, no? Third shell. So three sub-levels, should be there. Fourth shell means 4s, 4p, 4d and 4f likewise should be there. But Boo principle says sequence is somewhat different. But don't take it general. It depends upon the element. But now I'm talking general concept. Don't take it granted. This 3D orbital, we represent later the 4s. So what sequence we represent? This 3D orbital doesn't remain. There remains which orbital? After 3p, there remains 4s and 3d. It is especially for potassium and calcium. Usual sequence is not there. What is the reason? Energy is comparable, nearby. Energy is nearby. 3D means from namesake, it is a third level. Fourth S means namesake is a fourth. So don't take that 3 and 4 difference. 3D is near to the 4S. But when it is near, the penetrating ability of 3D is less than that of the 4S. So because 4S is more penetrating, pays more attention, it is more stable compared to 3D. 4S energy less than that of the 3D. Similarly, if you continue your this study, you will find that after 4P, in spite of 5D, there comes the orbital 5S. Okay, 5S. After 5S, we expect 5P, but 5P doesn't come. There comes 4D. It is general I'm saying. Element wise it changes. After 4D, we expect the 4F, but 5P comes. After 5P, we expect 5D, but 6S comes. All these variations are because of penetration tendency is different and energies are also different. Means backbenchers, row number is what different. So only row number will not decide the attention. Only row number will not decide the energy. Only neighbors, how many are there, will not decide the energy. Energy decided by means of the tendency. Tendency means what? Genesis. Here, 4s orbital has more penetration tendency, therefore its energy is lower than the 3D. Compared to 4D, 5s is more penetrating. See, 4D and 5s are nearby. After 4D, then the 5p is coming. Or before 5p, 4D is coming. Now you will use the question 4D. 4D means D should be at less penetration tendency than the P. Yes, therefore D should be the larger, but 4 is a lower energy than that of 5. So all those things factors we have to consider. Then energy sequence depends. If you have to truly understand the energy sequence, then you should know this penetration and shielding. Therefore, these concepts are included in your syllabus. Shortly, now I give the answer for the question asked by Sanika. Penetration is a tendency of an orbital to pay the attention to the nucleus. It depends upon genesis, it depends upon elders, it depends upon seniors, how experienced that orbital is. S orbital is more penetrating than P, is more than D, is more than F. Second term, shielding. Shielding is a protection or screening experienced by the further electron at the back bench, electron at the higher energy levels due to screening of inner electrons. That's a shielding or screening. And in your syllabus, there are the numericals expectation about the shielding. No, when I will deal with the next topic, at that time we will calculate shielding constant, screening constant by means of rules. And those rules are Slater's rules that I am discussing in the next topic. But now only just introduction is there. Concept is there, shielding and screening, shielding or screening and penetration. So Sanika, did you get the idea about these concepts?
Yes, sir.
Okay, other students, the question asked by Sanika and answer that I provided now, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good, good, good. Now, second question asked by Sridhar is about the nanotechnology. To make this concept clear, I ask you one simple question. What is the color of gold? Yes, what is the color of gold?
So golden.
Golden.
Yes, golden color or yellowish color. Golden itself is the color. Somewhat yellowish, no, it is, right?
Yes, sir.
But if I say gold is red, you will not believe, you will not trust that because you have not observed that.
So when we heat the gold, the color becomes red.
Okay, when we heat the gold at that time, energy emission, somewhat energy emission, no, energy level changes. So it becomes angry gold, you can say, reddish. Even iron also, if you heat, no, it will become red. Then it will become yellowish. Means as temperature, then it will become white. See, iron rod or iron material, if you do that. So that is what the emission spectra. So you are talking about the red color of the gold at temperature, no? That is because of heating. That is because of emission. The energy level somewhat changes how emitted light that is observed. I am talking about the gold in the hand at room temperature. And if I say gold is red, then you will say, no, it is not possible. Right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, that impossibility is possible by means of nanotechnology. We can make gold red. Yes. If the particle size changes, no, nanotechnology deals with the small particles of 1 to 100 nanometer. Diameter means for the particle, maybe tube, different concepts are there. Nanomaterial, simply you can say, means optical properties. Optics means little light. Because of light, we could able to see the colors, no? So optical property changes because of nanomaterials, because of change in the size. Okay. Other example, I give it to you. In Ayurveda, there remains one or many kinds of ashes for treatment. They do apply on the skin. To those ashes, we say one thing. What is that thing?
Bhasma.
Right. Brilliant answer. Bhasmas are there. Those bhasmas is an example of nanotechnology. Same material. If particle size changes, quality changes. For simple understanding, I am saying simple sugar, granular sugar, and grinded sugar. Color point of view, more difference you will not find. Little difference. Taste point of view, actually the quantity changes, surface area changes. Smaller the size, surface area changes. Catalytical property also do change. So catalyst point of view, to increase the surface area, we want the particle to the small extent, small sized, nano-sized particles we want. That phenomenon, that idea is in the bhasma. Means if you take granular ash and this completely powdered ash, absorption tendency, absorption, these different concepts are there, but they are related to nanotechnology. Catalysis, different concept, but related to nanotechnology. Strength of the material, different concept, but related to nanotechnology. So optical properties, electrical properties, magnetic properties, stiffness or strength, those properties changes drastically by nanotechnology. Even memory capacity. Now, generally example is given previously how big computers were there. Computers were like a building or one room. Then slowly size reduced. Then monitors, large monitor computers were there. Then slow. Now your handphone, cell phone, I can say that is also the computer. Now computers are coming in the chip. So that nanoization, you can say, of the electronic equipment took place. It is also their nanotechnology also helps. Even solar cells. Solar cell previously it was a dream, means it is not affordable because cost concern too much. Now it is drastically decreasing. Still, scientists are working to decrease the cost of solar panels. That is possible only and only if nanotechnology grows. Even miniaturization of the electronic or that's mobile that I said, or there also applications are there. Or memory, previously the for memory storage. Now new technologies are coming, new concepts are coming. Cloud technology by which data can be, that's a space available there, but in that whatever space is there, that space can be utilized to more extent. Means if you go to the Mumbai, means a big city, population also is good, space is a less. So if you take any hotel, in that hotel you will feel, or any arrangement, you go to any shop or even if it's a house, you'll find they use the space effectively. Whatever the space is there, within that there is a wash basin and all the tables, arrangement and all. Somewhat congestion remains, but they use the space effectively. Water room is there, they'll prepare one shelf and there they will keep the luggage. And here what happens, we have the whole space or considerable space. So we don't know that importance and we use that as it is. So use of the space, if you have to learn, then we have to learn the Mumbai people. Students, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Then if use of the space, you have to understand importance of the space, you have to understand importance of the technology, but to understand, then understand nanomaterials. Nanomaterials will tell you what drastic changes are possible in our day-to-day technology. So in many sectors, you take automobile sector, you take space sector, you take defense sector. Okay, interesting example. I went to my one seminar at that time. One senior, considerable senior to me, he's working. He's a genuine scientist of the country, you can say now. He's working in DRDO, Defense Research and Development Organization. Confidential thing remain. So what exactly he will not share to anybody, he will not share. But idea is gone. How the defense is going now? Indian defense is going towards that aid, towards that area. There are jackets. Means if somebody wears that jacket, no, that person will be invisible. As like in film or cinema, you can understand that they show no, okay, villain is not there. Means they could not say. I forgot the name of the few pictures, but they remain. They show person. You could not see that person because person is weird some other thing. In case if we could use our soldiers, then if soldier could wear that coat or that the dress material, soldier who is not visible. Are you understanding its importance?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's creative idea it is, and people are working, and it's possible by nanotechnology and further other many things are there because optical properties of nanomaterials are different than as usual. Even you will find Chavanpras example, medicinal field also lot of see nanotechnology. Which field nanotechnology has not touched? Each and every field it has touched. It's a gift to the scientific community, you can say. In that Chavanpras, then Sona Chandi Chavanpras, you might have heard. That's the gold and the silver. So gold and silver. So yes, these are the essential elements necessary over there, but they do remain in the nano part. Nano part means small sized. Then for digestion also, this will be helpful. Otherwise, what one will say, we need iron in blood, iron necessary. Then why don't we use that iron rods? It's not one thing that we can't bite them properly is one, but if they go in the food, means in different salts, but gold and silvers are not finding such a good compounds. But if they go in the small tracer quantity, it is a small quantity, but in a nano level, then those can cause the effect. So if you want to have a good effect of the medicine, then this nanotechnology is important. Even for specific drug carrying, these nanomaterials are used. You might be knowing there are the now diagnosis where one injection is your means it means dye. Actually, it means with the dye. If dye goes in the blood, no, then dye shines. So how the our blood system is there that one can understand. So nowadays modern CT scans are there. Scanning of whom we can do a hard material means if the bones are there, I can do the scanning of my hand, a skull. I can do the scanning. But how can we do scanning of our heart? For that, if we inject one dye, it's a shining dye. And the dye, if we observe from outside, dye we can see, no? And how the dye is moving. While passing that dye, is there an obstacle? If obstacle is there, then clots may be there or blockages may be there. That nowadays people are investigating with that. So those dye manufacturing and carrying, not only this for diagnosis purpose, for other purpose. So this nanotechnology is used to the great extent. So let you take medicinal field, let you take technological, say computer field, automobile field, defense field, even environmental field. Here we are not experiencing that much pollution, but in Mumbai or especially in Delhi, lot of pollution is there. Air pollution I am talking about. So there are few towers, actually those cylinders in terms of towers, and they remain with resins or ingredient, and they absorb the selective gases, nitric oxide or sulfur oxide. Those are the pollutant. And in those selective, and those are the costly. It is not easy to establish the towers everywhere. And it cost concerns because of nanotechnology. So those nanotechnology material is there that absorbs the particular gases. Selective absorption also is possible. So for air pollution, it is used. Even nowadays, good filters are there for water pollution. Nanotechnologies has a wide role there in development. So in all kinds of the technologies, this nanotechnology is used. A new era is started in the human generation, you can say, because of nanotechnology. People are still going ahead of that nanotechnology, but it is a very important one. And in a physics also you will study that at higher level. Chemistry certainly it is there. It's especially at the inorganic chemistry, if I have to talk at MSc part 2, that nanotechnology at T.Y.B.Sc, it was there in the old syllabus, but now it is not there. Nanomaterials, the topic was there, but it remains in the studies, in the curriculum. If not at graduate level, you will come across that nanotechnology at the first graduation level, especially in engineering. Those who study, they are coming to this nanotechnology because a strength of the beam is steel beam, you can consider, can increase by means of this nanotechnology. Even the foam kind of the arrangement. Now here's one cube you will find, no? So if it is a it is a heavy one, then on this I can keep something. You will understand that. But if I keep one foam on, this means that's called aerogel. Aerogel. In aerogel nanotechnologies are there. Then it looks like a foam, but it has considerable strength. It is transparent sometimes. It may be opaque. It may be colored. Silica, that's aerogels, or iron oxide aerogel. Iron oxide is only brown color, but different colors will be there in that foam. So sponge, how it remains? No, it looks like a sponge, but it has a strength. So drastic change in the properties occur by this nanotechnology. Very important question. Who has asked? Sridhar, no? Yes.
Yes, sir.
Sridhar has asked. Very important, interesting field. And don't worry if you are interested. No, go on studying that. Content is available on the internet. If you are curious to know that, go on reading it. Create your interest and if possible, conduct experiments. Yes, Sridhar, did you get the answer?
Yes, sir.
Other students, the question asked by Sridhar and whatever I answered, is it clear?
Yes,
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 sir.
sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, about study, after graduation in Mumbai University at Kalina, one department is there, nanotechnology department. There also you can pursue your post graduation. But whenever you will go to Mumbai, then visit that department. No information about that. If really one is interested in the nanotechnology, I am not saying nanotechnology is the only one technology available. Now it's digitalized there. Digitalization is changing the world. Even electroplating, whatever our vehicles are there, to electroplate, zinc is used, chromium is used. Now with nanotechnology, nanomaterials, that coating remains very fixed also, and rusting also rarely occurs. For corrosion, a great problem in the industry, that also can be minimized to great extent because of nanotechnology. Okay, how far I long talk, it is a less about the nanotechnology. Yes, good. Yeah, any other question about the discussions which I had given, whichever I told to you the information. First, I told you about the penetration and shielding. Now I told you about this nanotechnology, and whatever the explanation I had given about that, also if you have question or problem, you can ask. Is it there? Yes or no? Now you have to talk because I am on the screen of presentation.
No,
I can't see what you are chatting there.
no, sir. It is
No,
clear.
sir.
Great, good. Are you getting interest to learn or studying?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
yes, sir.
That's a spirit of learning, and that's a quality or property of student or learner. Now, question is by Vaibhavi is regarding training to the brain, or what that I just introduced. No, what is that? From my point of view, now shortly I just explained. Life is not only the time duration or span from the birth to the death. It is more than that for me. And for everybody, it should be. For me, life is a growth. It is a growth approach. Means my approach is a growth approach. Therefore, for me, that's a life. If I know something, I have to know more. It's a growth. If I understand something, I want to understand more. That's a growth. And everybody nearly lives mechanically. I want this life. I want this growth. I want this living by understanding, by proper understanding. And if you understand the life, if you understand the growth, you will live the life to the fullest extent. It's a simple concept about the life. Is it clear to you now what I said?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
No, only few replies are there. What about others, boys?
Yes, sir. Clear, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay, good, good. So if we want to live the life to the fullest, then we should understand our organs, behavior. Among them, for me, most important, most vital, unavoidable organ is a brain. If you learn the brain, you will learn the life. And if you learn, then earning, happiness, satisfaction, excitement, energeticness, all those will be there if you use your brain properly, if you understand the brain properly. About growth, why should we grow? Just take example of the child. Child at the beginning observes whatever is going on, listens. Brain is not that much developed. Is there considerable good development is there, but yet not that much developed to cognizance level, understanding level. So time pass is a life for the child. Time pass in sense just only observation, observation. Intellectually, slowly growth occurs, and then child comes to know do's and don'ts. And due to that program, the child controls and behaves. To that we say behavior. And behavior of the child, which has a character, or any person also, we can say it is about character. So their child's approach remains what? Only to see here and there on observation. But by the way, brain also works to grasp that, to learn that. Child never knows to talk a language. Child learns to talk. If child remains in the culture of Chinese, can talk Chinese language. Culture of English, can talk English. Culture of Malwani, can talk Malwani. What is the culture? What is the listen? That. So there remains a program to grasp, to capture. By the way, to practice. Without practice, talking is not possible. If any person is there, a deep person could not listen. What do you think? Can deep person talk? Could deep person talk?
Yes, sir. He can talk, but not by the words.
Okay, good, good. From emotion point of view. Okay, am I talking? Okay, good, good. Good answer. I'm happy to know that answer. Perfect answer, actually. My answer was a superficial answer. Yeah. He could not talk the words because words are not listened. So listening is our sense. That's the ear plays a very important role. But only listen means we could talk. No, that our vocal system, tongue, and all those also should be in the favor. Then we could able to talk. But talking immediately doesn't occur as like that dumb person. Now, who had answered previously? I don't know. Is who had answered that question? Answer that a dumb person could not talk, but in other way could not can talk. In what?
Shefali.
Shepali, yes, good. Yes, Shepali. A child also, while learning to talk in terms of dumb. Means actually how dumb can attempt likewise. Means that child also will attempt to talk. It is the basic attempt. But what happens? Society or relatives or parents do support that attempt. Nobody says you're wrong. Nobody is there to defeat you. Nobody is there to pull you down. You go on doing the attempts. And you grow or your growth you can realize previously you could not able to talk but now you could able to talk previously you were talking somewhat tutti frutti language now you are talking some good language. Yes, are you understanding what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Why you learn to talk? Because that's a growth. Why you learn to walk? Because that's a growth. So growth is a life. So if we want to grow properly, then proper use of the brain. It's mainly related to the brain. Proper use of the brain is important. If you understand our brain, I'm not talking there in medicine point of view. I'm not expert in that. But for last 43 years, I am experiencing myself, my learning, and for last 22 years, students are learning. By the way, in those course of life, I am observing how others also do learn. So learning, I earn that learning, you can say. And I am of the opinion, if this computer, this brain, from my point of view, is a biocomputer. If you train that biocomputer, in that computer programming remains, operating system and all things are already there. Only the software, that program you have to initiate. And programming means what? What is mind? What are the senses? How can we use them? All those things will help you to use the brain properly, to make the programs, needed programs, necessary programs, and unwanted programs you can delete also, or you can keep them side by also. The focus means what? How can be attained? All those things are related to the brain. So medicine point of view, no. Neuron as such, only few terms. Otherwise, there is a known medicine. I don't know about that. But learning skill point of view, learning understanding point of view, I can give the explanation. I have the authority because I lived that life. Only I want to open up that book. One book writing is going on, majority work is completed, so that book will come. So through book or maybe such discussions, I want to open up my knowledge, my experiences in order to make everybody, each and everyone, a good learner, good use of brain, who can do good use of the brain. So about which those activities are there. So I said just the brain is what the important one. And because of that, Vaibhavi was again with the curiosity, what is that? So Vaibhavi, is it clear somewhat? It is just the only trailer or just partly little thing only said. It is a part of discussion, thorough discussion. Those who desire, those who are needed, for them we can discuss. But not now, not in chemistry lecture. Other time, it's a extra activity.
Yes, sir.
Yes, other students, the question asked by Vaibhavi, and in short, whatever the answer I provided, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, if you are curious, if you want, as a teacher, I am there. I love to teach, I love to guide, I love to coach. Not now, right from childhood. If I introspect, no, yes, I have that guts, I have that ability, and I was enjoying, damn enjoying. So whatever my nature is, that if I live, then that's a life, no. So if I want to ask you to live life fully, then I also should live that. I also have to use my brain to the level best. Using the potential to the level best will lead you to the growth, and that growth is a life. So growth approach I want to give, I want to nurture, and I want to spread. It's my intention. Yes. So students, whatever the three questions I discussed, first question regarding penetration and shielding, second question regarding nanotechnology, and third question regarding the brain and training to the brain or living the life to the fullest. Shortly, I told to you. Are all things clear?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
I'm finding you are
Yes, sir.
enjoying the lectures, and I want you to study. Study well. Don't think about only chemistry. Think about the study. It's a challenge. Be a challenge acceptor, and that's how you have to achieve that, or you have to succeed in that. Success in that. You have to get the success in that. You will be the achiever certainly. Yeah. So shall we stop now?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes. So students,
Okay, sir.